right in the heart of a silver bullet.
Yeah. I think they plotting on man. Don't wipe their feet when they enter the lair. I feel a cold stare.
5 presidents that this country has had. 45. Donald Trump is responsible for almost a third of this country's national debt. Him, the one. And it took us over 210 years for all of those presidents, from George Washington all the way through Bill Clinton, to together collectively pile on as much debt as Donald Trump has done by himself. It's credible. One final thing, forgive me, but you say 40 trillion and people's eyes glaze over? Think about it this way. If you made $1 million every day, $1 million every day to pay off the national debt, you would have to work for 109,000 years every day to pay off the national debt. And to put that into, I said, 109,589 years. I tallied it up. To put that in perspective, that's 20 times longer than all of recorded history. So that's how deep we are in debt. And we're so deep in debt that Americans are now paying interest on the debt at a higher level this year than they're paying for America's national defense. That's the first time that's ever happened, where your credit card debt from the federal government is actually higher than defense to protect our country.
Good day. So the national debt hit 40 trillion and counting. Don't forget the and counting part. Um, and to me, it's like, yeah, and it's gonna go higher. It might be 50 in 2 years at this rate. So um, first and foremost, I saw a thing where the president and the vice president were talking about how we're gonna grow the economy to pay off the debt, right? And I laugh because I'm like, they firing people. What are you talking about? You're trying to fire people, and then quote unquote AI. So we're gonna pay off the debt by growing the economy. And if you try to grow the economy, we're gonna grow the economy without the people. And we're gonna let the save the corporations money with less people, and then they'll help pay off the debt. Not finna happen. That's more profit. It's not about to happen. So you got that. Now, when he was talking about, basically, um, the United States got to 40 trillion in the last 4 presidents, with a Bush, Obama, Trump, Biden. Four. Um, and truth be told, since I have to go there, when people want to be a partisan issue, the last time a Democrat had the country in a recession was Jimmy Carter. You can look it up. Now, it started with Bush and the war on Iraq and Afghanistan. And part of the problem is what's been going on now is part of that concept of we'll just go to war and we'll spend all of the money and it doesn't matter because we're America and we'll handle it later. Later never came. And we shouldn't have went in the first place because we went to the wrong countries. But whole nother thing. Then, and by the way, part of the war on Afghanistan is part of your opioid addiction and opioid crisis, just for the record. Now, Obama, I remember when Obama was talking about doing something with the deficit and creating an infrastructure bill. Pretty much, he didn't do anything his first 2 years, being a sucker, trying to wait till the Republicans get back in power for a bipartisan issue, and they made it their business to make sure he was a lame duck. So he was stupid. Because to me, I was just like brainwashed. I love white people. I love white people so much. We're gonna bring the country together because it's white people that was Democrats, dude. You could have just did, but hey, and that made the situation worse because the healthcare thing, and it's like, oh, now we don't, nobody wants Obamacare, whatever, dog. Now you ain't got really nothing. So now what? you know, we don't want an infrastructure bill. Now you need an infrastructure bill. Now what? We don't want to pay that. Now we how are we going to pay down the deficit? Tried to do that 10, 15 years ago. You didn't want to do that because you didn't want the black dude doing it. So then you got Trump who got in office, and then I'm going to fix everything. I'm going to fix everything. I'm going to show you the ingenuity and the genius of whiteness. And we're going to have a white country again with white men at the top doing white stuff. And did dumb stuff. Just straight dumb stuff. And then the pandemic happened. And he lost the presidency really because of the pandemic. Because he wasn't prepared for it. He's like, not a big deal. And then it became a big deal. And it's like, okay, you don't know what you're doing. And then Biden got in office. And lame ducking it up. And then Trump is back in office. Lame ducking it up. So if you think the United States government is going to fix anything, as far as the deficit, you're crazy. Because they're worried about everything else. That's part of the racial dynamics and the wars everywhere. And we need to be in a religious fake war and the big beautiful bill and tariffs. And it's like, bro, y'all just throwing stuff on the wall to see what sticks. Doge and Tesla and SpaceX being a trillionaire, and get ready. That's all I'm gonna say. Get ready, because the dollar at this rate is gonna collapse sooner before later. And the crazy part about it is with the stock market, you see sometimes as the price goes up, as the debt goes up, some stocks go up. And generally, if anybody is in the crypto, you saw that after the national debt crossed 40 trillion, sometimes crypto just started taking up. So the more the debt, the higher the crypto is going to be because it's an alternate currency. Now, as I said earlier, they're not intending to fix this. Think about it. They had no plan to fix this. So that concept, well, we just put it on a credit card. You got to remember, your current president did a lot of bankruptcy deals on his road to riches. So can the country claim bankruptcy? I doubt it. But we're going to have America's going to have this problem. And then thus the houses are too expensive and inflation is going up. Well, the price of stuff is about to go up even higher. And I said 40 trillion and counting. And think about it. The more it goes up, the higher the interest rates are going to be, the interest payments are going to be. And here's the stupidity of it. American math could have stopped this 10, 15 years ago by going, hey, we're going to pay more than the interest payment to pay some of this down, but you never did. See, the government is ghetto, doesn't pay its bills. We're always going to put a little something on it, but not really do anything. Yeah, man. So now, at some point you got to ask the question, how much is it going to cost to pay these high interest payments? Because you want to keep, what is it, AA or AAA credit or whatever it was. That's over with. That's over with, G. And anybody who's ever had a credit card bill that was too high, you had to pay that interest, and you're like, oh my God, I'm gonna never pay this stuff down. That's where the United States is at. Because the deficit is over the GDP. As he said, the interest payments pretty much, or it's over the defense budget. And this is why other countries, ironically, have gotten better. Because see, this is part of the reason why China got better is because while the United States was focused on war and imperialism and being in everybody's business, it wasn't focused on the economy. So ultimately, at this rate, you're going to be working for another country to pay off the debt. And then, part of you're kicking out, you kicked out the quote unquote illegals, you're firing people from their jobs. The AI thing, as I brought up, the whole racial dynamic. We're going to get the world in line, and basically, what white America's going to do is try to is going to isolate itself to be back in power, and that whole debt is going to be on them. And then they're going to go, brothers, we're Americans, we're Christians, and Jesus is king, and da-da-da-da-da, and help us. And everybody going to go, nope, you're on your own, man. This is what you actually work for. Show us show us how to pull yourself up by your bootstraps. And they're going to fail miserably. But that's just my 2 cents. Tell me what you think. Catch you on the next one. Peace.